Cybersecurity Framework version 1.1 from NIST, published in 2018. I just found this paper in my bookcase and it was released 4 years ago. But the content for improving IT infrastructure is still fascinating. So let's get started. Chapter 1, Framework Introduction. The United States depends on the reliable functioning of its critical infrastructure. Cybersecurity threats exploit the increased complexity and connectivity of critical infrastructure systems, placing the nation's security, economy, and public safety and health at risk. Similar to financial and reputational risk, cybersecurity risk affects a company's bottom line. It can drive up costs and affect revenue. It can harm an organization's ability to innovate and to gain and maintain customers. Cybersecurity can be an important and amplifying component of an organization's overall risk management. To strengthen the resilience of this infrastructure, the Cybersecurity Enhancement Act of 2014 updated the role of the National Institute of Standards and Technologies to facilitate and support the development of cybersecurity risk frameworks. Through CEA, NIST must identify a prioritized, flexible, repeatable, performance-based, and cost-effective approach, including information security measures and controls that may be voluntarily adopted by owners and operators of critical infrastructure to help them identify, assess, and manage cyber risk. This formalized NIST's previous work developing Framework version 1 under Executive Order 13636, improving critical infrastructure cybersecurity, issued in February 2013, and provide guidance for future framework evolution. Critical infrastructure is defined in the U.S. Patriot Act of 2001 as system and assets, whether physical or virtual, so vital to the United States that the incapacity or destruction of such system and assets would have a debilitating impact on security, national economic security, national public health or safety, or any combination of those matters. Due to the increasing pressures from external and internal threats, organizations responsible for critical infrastructure need to have a consistent and iterative approach to identifying, assessing, and managing cybersecurity risk. This approach is necessary regardless of an organization's size, threat exposure, or cybersecurity sophistication today. The critical infrastructure community includes public and private owners and operators and other entities with a role in securing the nation's infrastructure. Members of each critical infrastructure sector perform functions that are supported by the broad category of technology, including information technology, IT, industrial control system, ICS, cyber physical system, CPS, and connect device, more generally including the Internet of Things, IoT. This reliance on technology, communication, and interconnectivity has changed and expanded the potential vulnerabilities and increased potential risk to operations. For example, as technology and the data is produced and processes are increasingly used to deliver critical service and support business mission or decision, the potential impact of a cybersecurity incident on an organization, the health and safety of individuals, the environment, communities, and the broader economy and society should be considered. To manage cybersecurity risk, a clear understanding of the organization's business drivers and security considerations specific to as use of technology required. Because each organization risk, prioritize, and system are unique, the tool and method used to achieve the outcomes described by the framework will vary. Recognizing the role that the protection of privacy and civil liberties plays in creating greater public trust, the framework includes a methodology to protect individual privacy and civil liberties. When critical infrastructure organizations conduct cybersecurity activities, many organizations already have processes for addressing privacy and civil liberties. The methodology is designed to complement such processes and provide guidance to facilitate privacy risk management consistent with an organization's approach to cybersecurity risk management. Integrating privacy and cybersecurity can benefit organizations by increasing customer confidence, enabling more standardized sharing of information, and simplifying operations across legal regimes. The framework remains effective and supports technical innovations because it is technology neutral while also referencing a variety of existing standards, guidelines, and practice that evolve with technology. By relying on those global standards, guidelines, and practice developed, managed, and updated by industry. The tools and methods available to achieve the framework outcomes will scale across borders, acknowledge the global nature of cybersecurity risk, and evolve with technological advance and business requirements. The use of existing and emerging standards will enable economies of scale and drive the development of effective products, service, and practice that meet identified market needs. Market competition also promotes further diffusion of these technologies and practice, a realization of many benefits by the stakeholders in these sectors. Building from those standards, guidelines, and practice, the framework provides a common taxonomy and mechanism for organization to first, describe the current cybersecurity posture. Second, describe their target state for cybersecurity. Third, identify and prioritize opportunities for improvement within the context of a continuous and repeatable process. Fourth, assess progress toward the target state. Fifth, communicate among internal and external stakeholders about cybersecurity risk. The framework is not a one-size-fits-all approach to managing cybersecurity risk for critical infrastructure. Organizations will continue to have unique risk, different threats, different vulnerabilities, different risk tolerance. They also will vary in how they customize practice described in the framework. Organizations can determine activities that are important to critical service delivery and can prioritize investment to maximize the impact of each dollar spent. Ultimately, the framework is aimed at reducing and better managing cybersecurity risk. To account for the unique cybersecurity needs of organizations, there are a wide variety of ways to use the framework. The decision about how to apply it is left to the implementing organization. For example, one organization may choose to use the framework implementation tiers to articulate envisions risk management practice. Another organization may use the framework's 5 functions to analyze its entire risk management portfolio. That analysis may or may not rely on more detailed companion guidance, such as control catalogs. There sometimes is discussion about compliance with the framework, and the framework has utility as a structure and language for organizing and expressing compliance with an organization's own cybersecurity requirements. Nevertheless, the variety of ways in which the framework can be used by an organization means that phrases like compliance with the framework can be confusing and mean something very different to various stakeholders. The framework complements and does not replace an organization's risk management process and cybersecurity program. The organization can use its current process and leverage the framework to identify opportunities to strengthen and communicate its management of cybersecurity risk while aligning with industry practice. Alternatively, an organization without an existing cybersecurity program can use the framework as a reference to establish one. While a framework has been developed to improve cybersecurity risk management as it relates to critical infrastructure, it can be used by organizations in any sector of the economy or society. It is intended to be useful to companies, government agencies, and non-for-profit organizations. Not-for-profit organizations, regardless of their focus or size. The common taxonomy of standards, guidelines, and practice that it provides also is not country-specific. Organizations outside the United States may also use the framework to strengthen their own cybersecurity efforts, and the framework can contribute to developing a common language for international cooperation on critical infrastructure cybersecurity. 1.1 Overview of the framework. The framework is a risk-based approach to managing cybersecurity risk and is composed of three parts: the framework core, the framework implementation tiers, and the framework profiles. Each framework component reinforces the connection between business or mission, driver, and cybersecurity activities. These components are explained below. The framework core is a set of cybersecurity activities, desired outcomes, and applicable reference that are common across critical infrastructure sectors. The core presents industry standards, guidelines, and practice in a manner that allows for communication of cybersecurity activities and outcomes across the organization, from the executive level to the implementation or operation level. The framework core consists of 5 concurrent and continuous functions: identify, protect, detect, response, and recover. When considered together, these functions provide a high-level strategic view of the life cycle of an organization's management of cybersecurity risk. The framework core then identifies underlying key categories and subcategories, which are discrete outcomes for each function, and match them with example informative reference, such as existing standards, guidelines, and practice for each subcategory. Framework implementation tiers provides context on how organizations view cybersecurity risk and the process in place to manage that risk. Tiers describe the degree which an organization's cybersecurity risk management practice exhibit characteristics defined in the framework, for example, risk and threat aware, repeatable, and adaptive. The tiers characterize an organization practice over a range from partial Tier 1 to adaptive Tier 4. These tiers reflect a progression from informal reactive response to approaches that are agile and risk-informed. During the tier selection process, an organization should consider its current risk management practice, threat environment, legal and regulatory requirements, business or mission objectives, and organization constraints. A framework profile represents the outcomes based on business needs that an organization has selected from the framework categories and subcategories. The profile can be characterized as the alignment of standards, guidelines, and practice to the framework core in a particular implementation scenario. Profiles can be used to identify opportunities for improving cybersecurity posture by comparing a current profile, the as-is state, with a target profile, the to-be state. To develop a profile, an organization can review all of the categories and subcategories, and based on business or mission drivers and a risk assessment, determine which are most important. It can add categories and subcategories as need to address the organization risk. The current profile can then be used to support prioritization and measurement of progress towards the target profile, while factoring in other business needs including cost effectiveness and innovation. Profile can be used to conduct self-assessments and communicate within an organization or between organizations. 1.2 Risk Management and Cybersecurity Framework. Risk management is the ongoing process of identifying, assessing, and responding to risk. To manage risk, organizations should understand the likelihood that an event will occur and the potential resulting impacts. With this information, organizations can determine the acceptable level of risk for achieving their organization objectives and can express this as their risk tolerance. With an understanding of risk tolerance, organizations can prioritize cybersecurity activities, enabling organizations to make informed decisions about cybersecurity expenditures. Implementation of risk management programs offer organizations the ability to quantify and communicate adjustment to their cybersecurity programs. Organizations may choose to handle risk in different ways, including mitigating the risk, transferring the risk, avoiding the risk, or accepting the risk, depending on the potential impact to delivery of critical service. The framework uses risk management process to enable organizations to inform and prioritize decisions regarding cybersecurity. It supports recurring risk assessment and validation of business drivers to help organizations select target state for cybersecurity activities that reflect desired outcomes. Thus, the framework gives organizations the ability to dynamically select direct improvement in cybersecurity risk management for the IT and ICS environments. The framework is adaptive to provide a flexible and risk-based implementation that can be used with a broad array of cybersecurity risk management processes. Examples of risk management process include International Organization Standard or ISO, ISO 31000-2009, ISO International Electrotechnical Commission or IEC 27005-2011, NIST Special Publication or SP 80039, and the Electricity Subsector Cybersecurity Risk Management Process or RPM Guideline. For Chapter 2, I'll see you in the next video. Thank you for listening.